The slap echoed through the church. My new mother-in-law's hand connected with my face so hard I tasted blood. 200 wedding guests gasped in unison. My veil fell to the floor. And my husband Thaddeus just stood there. "You will not ruin my son's life, you gold-digging black whore," Margot hissed, her perfectly manicured nails digging into my arm hard enough to leave marks. "This marriage is over before it starts." I touched my burning cheek, feeling the wetness. Blood. My white dress, the one I'd spent months choosing, now had red spots on the bodice. I looked at Thaddeus, waiting for him to say something. Anything. "Thaddeus." My voice cracked. He looked away. My husband-to-be actually looked away while his mother assaulted me at our own wedding. Like he couldn't bear to watch but also couldn't bring himself to stop it. The church went silent. You know that kind of silence where even breathing feels too loud? That's what filled that space. 200 people held their breath, waiting to see what would happen next. Margot stood there smirking like she just won some kind of battle. Thaddeus looked at the floor like it held all the answers to the universe. And me? I stood there bleeding, realizing I just made the biggest mistake of my life. If you want to see what happens when a powerful man stands up for his daughter in the most explosive way possible, hit that subscribe button right now. Drop a comment saying justice if you think she deserves revenge. Because what's about to happen will blow your mind. Then I heard footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. The kind of footsteps that make expensive shoes sound like thunder on marble floors. Every head in that church turned toward the back. My father, Roman Castellano, stood up from the back row where he'd been sitting quietly throughout the ceremony. 6'4", silver-haired, wearing a suit that probably cost more than Margot's mortgage. Behind him, 3 men in dark suits stood up at exactly the same time. Like a choreographed dance. Like soldiers responding to their general. "Did you just?" my father said, his voice soft but carrying through the entire church, his Italian accent thick with barely controlled fury. "Put your hands on my daughter?" I watched all the color drain from Margot's face. She recognized that name. Everyone in the financial world knew Roman Castellano. Her hand, the one that had just slapped me, started trembling. "Mr. Castellano, this is a family matter. I was just..." "Family?" My father's laugh was cold. So cold I felt the temperature drop. "You slapped my child at her own wedding. On her face. Drew blood from her lip. That's not family business, Mrs. Morrison. That's assault. And I don't tolerate anyone putting their hands on what's mine." "Thaddeus, tell him." Margot grabbed my fiancé's arm like he was a life preserver and she was drowning. "Thaddeus will say nothing," my father interrupted, still walking down that aisle, guests parting like the Red Sea. Because Thaddeus just stood there while his mother attacked his wife, which means Thaddeus is not a man. He's a coward dressed in a tuxedo. "Sir, I didn't want to cause a scene." Thaddeus finally spoke, but his voice shook. That's when something inside me broke. Not broke like shattered. Broke like chains snapping. Broke like a dam bursting. "You didn't want to cause a scene?" I heard my own voice loud and clear for the first time that day. "Your mother just slapped me in front of 200 people at our wedding, and you're worried about causing a scene?" "Nalani, she's upset. She thinks you're only marrying me for money." "Money?" I laughed, and it was not a pretty sound. "You think I need your money, Thaddeus?" This was it. The moment I'd been dreading for 2 years. The moment I prepared for and hoped would never come. The moment where everything changed. "Thaddeus," I said quietly, wiping blood from my lip with the back of my hand, "what do you know about Castellano Industries?" He blinked, confused by the sudden change in topic. The global investment firm? One of the biggest in the world? Why? 50 billion in assets under management, my father confirmed, now standing right next to me, his hand settling protectively on my shoulder. 3,000 employees across 6 continents. Holdings in technology, real estate, energy, pharmaceuticals. My company. My legacy. He paused. My daughter's inheritance. I watched Thaddeus's face change as understanding hit him like a freight train. His eyes went wide. His mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air. His hand, which had been reaching for me, fell to his side. "You're," he whispered. "Nalani Castellano," I said clearly. "Daughter of Roman Castellano, heiress to Castellano Industries." The woman your mother just called a gold digger and slapped in front of everyone? She's worth more than your entire family will see in 10 lifetimes. Margot actually stumbled backward, her hand flying to her chest. That's impossible. You work at a bookstore. You dress so ordinary. You drive a 2015 Honda Civic. Because I wanted Thaddeus to love me, I said, and the tears finally came. Not my father's money. Not my trust fund. Not the Castellano name. Me. Just me. I looked at Thaddeus. I worked at that bookstore because I love books, not because I needed minimum wage. I drove that Honda because it was reliable and I didn't need to prove anything. I wore simple clothes because I didn't want someone loving me for designer labels. You lied to me, Thaddeus said, and I heard anger replacing his shock. I withheld information. I corrected, my voice getting harder. There's a difference. Just like you withheld that your mother is a racist nightmare who thinks any black woman dating her precious son must be after his money. Funny how we both had secrets, Thaddeus. Except my secret was protecting myself. Your secret was protecting a bigot. That's not fair. Fair. My voice rose. Your mother just assaulted me and called me a whore at our wedding. And you're talking to me about fair? My father pulled out his phone. The movement was casual, almost lazy, but something about it made everyone freeze. He tapped the screen once. It's Castellano. Execute Order 63. He hung up. Then he looked at Thaddeus's father, Edmund, who'd been standing there silent this whole time. Your insurance company uses Castellano Capital for your investment portfolio management, correct? Edmund nodded slowly, his face going pale. Not anymore, my father said simply. As of right now, we're withdrawing all capital and liquidating every account. Should hit your balance sheet by Monday morning. I estimate you'll lose about 40% of your company's value by Tuesday. You can't do that, Edmund started. I already did. Your business loans? Through Castellano Financial. Consider them called in. Full payment due in 30 days. Your office building on Market Street? Owned by Castellano Real Estate. You'll receive an eviction notice on Tuesday. 60 days to vacate. The church filled with gasps and whispers. 200 people watching a financial execution in real time. This is insane, this is vindictive. Edmund's voice was shaking. These are consequences, my father corrected calmly. You raised a son who lets his mother assault women. You married a woman who thinks violence is appropriate. And you're about to learn a very expensive lesson about who you're dealing with. He turned to Margot, who looked like she might faint. As for you, Mrs. Morrison, that was assault and battery witnessed by 200 people. My lawyers will contact you Monday morning. I'm thinking a 7-figure lawsuit should adequately compensate my daughter for the pain, suffering, and humiliation you've caused. We'll also be filing a police report. I'd hire a good attorney if I were you. I was protecting my son. From what? My father asked, his voice deadly quiet. From a woman who loves him? From the daughter of a man who could have made your family's wildest dreams come true. No, Mrs. Morrison. You weren't protecting anyone. You were being exactly what you are, a racist who saw a black woman and assumed the worst. And now you'll pay for it. Literally. I looked down at my hand. At the engagement ring Thaddeus had proposed with. 3 carats, princess cut. Platinum band. The biggest diamond he could afford on his insurance adjuster salary. He'd been so proud when he gave it to me. So proud to give me what he thought was the best. I twisted it off my finger and held it up. The lights from the church caught it, making it sparkle. It really was beautiful. Nalani, wait. Thaddeus reached for me. I dropped the ring into his palm. We're done. You can't just, let's talk about this. Talk about what? I asked. About how your mother slapped me and you stood there. About how you're more upset that I have money than that I'm bleeding. About how you let her call me a whore, and didn't say one word in my defense. She's my mother. And I was about to be your wife. I shouted. Your wife, Thaddeus. Doesn't that mean anything? Or does your mother's approval matter more than my safety? More than my dignity? More than me? I love you. No, you don't, I said, and I finally understood it was true. You love the idea of me. You loved having a simple, normal girlfriend who made you feel like a provider, who made you feel important and needed, who didn't threaten your ego or challenge you. You loved that I didn't have money because it made you feel powerful. You never loved the real me. Because if you did, you would have defended me. You would have stepped between me and your mother. You would have chosen me. I'm choosing you now. It's too late. I stepped back. You had your chance. You had the most important moment of our relationship, the moment that would define everything, and you failed. You stood there and watched your mother hit me. You let her call me names. You prioritized her feelings over my pain. That tells me everything I need to know about who you are and what I mean to you. If you just told me who your father was, then what? You would have defended me? That's exactly my point, Thaddeus. The only way you'd stand up for me is if I came with money and power attached. You couldn't defend Nalani, the bookstore worker. You couldn't protect Nalani, the girl with the Honda. But you would have protected Nalani, the Castellano heiress. That's not love. That's opportunism. My father's security team moved forward, creating a wall of bodies between Thaddeus and me. My father wrapped his suit jacket around my shoulders. It was still warm from his body heat. "Ladies and gentlemen," my father addressed the crowd, his voice carrying to every corner of that church. "The wedding is canceled. The reception dinner is still available. It's already paid for. Please enjoy it. Consider it an expensive lesson in not judging people by their appearances or making assumptions about someone's worth based on their race." "Roman, surely we can work this out." Edmund tried again, desperation in his voice. "Work what out? Your wife assaulted my daughter. Your son allowed it. The only thing to work out is how much this is going to cost you." My father's smile was terrifying. "Let me be crystal clear, Mr. Morrison. I spent 30 years building my empire. I did it for one reason: to protect my family, to make sure my daughter never has to depend on anyone, never has to tolerate disrespect, never has to beg for protection. You touched my daughter. You're going to lose everything. And I'm going to sleep just fine at night knowing that." I looked at Thaddeus one last time. Really looked at him. The man I'd loved for 2 years. The man I'd hidden my wealth for. The man I'd planned a future with. "I really did love you," I said softly. "I loved you enough to work a minimum wage job so you wouldn't know I had money. I loved you enough to live in that tiny apartment instead of my father's mansion. I loved you enough to drive that old car and wear simple clothes. I loved you enough to pretend I needed you when I never did. I loved you enough to marry you even though I knew your mother hated me. But I don't love you enough to be disrespected. I don't love you enough to accept violence. I don't love you enough to be called names while you do nothing. I'll be better. I'll stand up to her. You should have been better today. Today was your test. You failed." I turned and walked down that aisle, my father beside me, his security behind me. Blood dripped from my lip onto my white dress with every step. The guests parted silently. Some looked sorry. Some looked shocked. Some looked satisfied. I didn't care about any of them. Behind me I heard Thaddeus shouting, "Nalani, please. I'm sorry. Give me another chance." I didn't turn around. I didn't stop. I kept walking until I reached those church doors, pushed them open, and stepped out into the sunlight. The woman who'd walked into that church, Nalani the bookstore girl, Nalani who pretended to be simple, Nalani who made herself small to make a man feel big, she died there. The woman who walked out was someone else entirely. Someone who knew her worth. Someone who wouldn't accept less than what she deserved. Someone who had learned the hardest lesson of all. That love without courage is worthless. Those promises without action mean nothing. That choosing you should be easy for the people who claim to love you. 3 months passed. 3 months where I didn't answer Thaddeus's calls. Didn't read his texts. Didn't open his emails. Didn't accept the flowers he sent to my father's building. I stood in my corner office at Castellano Industries, overlooking the entire city from the 42nd floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Designer everything. My name on the door in gold letters. This was who I'd always been. This was what I'd hidden to play small for a man who couldn't even protect me from his mother. Margot's lawsuit settled. $1.2 million. My lawyers made sure it was public record. Made sure everyone knew what it cost to put your hands on Roman Castellano's daughter. Edmund's insurance company declared bankruptcy. 30 years of business destroyed in 3 months. Thaddeus got fired. Turns out companies don't love the PR nightmare of employing someone whose mother assaulted his bride at their wedding. My assistant buzzed. Miss Castellano, there's a Thaddeus Morrison in the lobby. Security says he's causing a scene. Refusing to leave. Demanding to see you. I sighed. Put down my coffee. Smoothed my Chanel dress. Took the elevator down. The lobby of Castellano Industries is all marble and gold. Dramatic. Imposing. Designed to make people feel small. And there was Thaddeus in the middle of it looking terrible. Unshaven. Clothes wrinkled. Eyes desperate. "Nilani," he said when he saw me. "Please. Just 5 minutes. That's all I need. We have nothing to discuss. I lost everything because of you." His voice was loud, echoing off the marble. My job. My reputation. My family's business. Everything. You lost everything because of your choices. I corrected, my voice ice cold. You chose to let your mother assault me. You chose cowardice over courage. You chose her over me. These are consequences, Thaddeus. Not revenge. Just consequences. I made a mistake. You made a choice. And choices have consequences. I turned to the security guards flanking the entrance. Remove him. If he returns, call the police and file a trespassing complaint. Nilani, I love you. I always loved you. No, you didn't. You loved what I represented. The simple girl who needed you. Who made you feel important. Who didn't threaten your masculinity with money or power. You loved being the provider, the protector, the successful one. You never loved the real me. Because the real me is this. I gestured around the luxury lobby. $1 billion deals. Corporate power. Money that makes your family's wealth look like pocket change. And you can't handle that. You proved it when you got angry that I had money instead of being angry that I was bleeding. That's not true. Then where were you? My voice rose despite myself. Where were you when your mother hit me? When she called me a whore? When she said I was ruining your life? You stood there. Silent. You made your choice. Now live with it. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. You knew exactly what to do. You just didn't have the courage to do it. And that tells me everything I need to know about who you are. And what you're capable of. The security guards moved forward. Thaddeus tried to grab my arm. They blocked him smoothly and efficiently, putting their bodies between us. Please, he begged, and there were tears in his eyes. I need you. You don't need me. You need my money. You need someone to fix the mess your family created. You need a savior. I'm not interested in the position. I'll do anything. Leave. Don't come back. Don't call. Don't text. Don't send flowers. We're done. We've been done since the moment you chose your mother over me. Nilani. I walked away. I heard him shouting behind me, his voice cracking, words tumbling over each other in desperation. The elevator doors closed, cutting off the sound. I rode back up to the 42nd floor in silence. Back in my office, I stood at those windows looking out over the city. The sun was setting, painting everything gold and pink. Beautiful. Peaceful. My phone buzzed. A text from my father. Proud of you. I smiled. 3 words that meant everything. I'd loved deeply. Lost publicly. But I'd risen beautifully. And I was finally done pretending to be smaller than I was. Done hiding my power to make men comfortable. Done accepting less than I deserved just to keep the peace. Some people called me cold. Unforgiving. Harsh. Let them. I called myself free. If you loved watching her walk away from someone who couldn't appreciate her worth, smash that like button. Drop a comment telling me, would you ever take him back? And subscribe to Black Crown Stories for more stories about women who loved deeply, lost quietly, and rose beautifully. Because some people only learn lessons when their world collapses. And some of us only find ourselves when we stop shrinking for others. Until next time, remember, you teach people how to treat you. Make sure the lesson is clear.